Hey, I'm basically here to tell you about my experiences that I've had in the military so far. I mean, have you ever thought about if you had what it takes to serve in the military, or how you would fare in infantry's basic training? Well, after that, I pretty much went to tech school, learned my job, and moved on to my first base, where I actually executed my job that I've been training for this whole time. Uh, Basically, I had no idea how intense basic training was going to be. The minute I stepped off the bus, I was immediately getting yelled at, getting screamed at, told to go here, told to go there. Things were just crisscrossing, going everywhere, and it was crazy. I uh, I expected to sleep the first night. I knew we'd get to bed late, but at around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, they told us no, you're gonna go take a shower, you're gonna get ready, and we're moving out. So we basically kept going. We were on 36 hours straight, pretty much, just going, exhausted. You're walking, and you're pretty much falling asleep while you're walking. But it was definitely intense. After that, I mean, they taught us the basics. We had to make hospital corners on our beds. Everything had to be perfect, straight line. Clothes had to be folded perfect, straight, squared. It was a little intense, and the physical training was just not what I was used to. I mean, I've always been an active person, playing baseball, doing basketball, but I was not used to waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go run. You're out there running for half an hour, 45 minutes straight, and then you're doing, calisthenics, getting your heart rate up. I mean, the first time I went out there, I didn't realize how bad out of shape I was. I ran a 14-minute mile and a half. That's crazy. Now I run around an 11, but I mean, that was just way beyond what I was used to, and it was a big culture shock. But when the final week came, and I finally completed my training, I was excited. My wife, well, my soon-to-be wife, and my mother came out to see me. I graduated with honors, which was the top 5% of all the graduates at the time. Scored highest on the test at the time, so I was pretty excited to see them, and wearing my dress blues, which showed my accomplishment that I had made so far. After that, I was pretty much immediately shipped off to my technical training in Mississippi. It was uh, it was pretty freedom, pretty much freedom compared to being in basic training. But there was still a lot of rules. Even though you had a college type feel, you had your own dorm rooms, you had your own keys, you had your own space. But with your own space, you had to keep it to a military standard. Beds made every day, floor completely clean, bathrooms completely clean, everything spotless. It was crazy. I didn't expect that you would have to do that much while you were living in your quarters and going to school every day. Now, on top of that, every Sunday we had things called GI parties, which is pretty much where we just went ahead and, cleaned up the dormitories and cleaned up around our dorms and made sure that our area looked good and that we were the best. But the excitement soon wore off with having my own place when I found out we had to go to class the very next day. They give you a book, a ton of information, and a ton of questions in it. And you basically have to learn each one in a week and a half because there's 8 blocks of classes that you have to accomplish in 6 months. And you basically get an associate's level degree of education in 6 months, which is pretty crazy. Um, at first, we pretty much got familiarized with the basic concepts of electricity and how circuits work, and that's pretty much what I was going to be doing in my job with radios and satellite communications. After 8 months of rigorous training and long hours spent studying, I finally completed my training and was ready to move on to my first base. I was given my orders and I moved along to Warner Robins, Georgia. Not quite what I expected. Could have gone back to Florida or somewhere in Europe and I would have been excited, but Robins was a good place. I showed up and I thought I was done with all my training. But when I get there, immediately, I'm given another set of training that I need to do. 6 books, which took me about a year, 8 months to a year to complete. And this was on the job training, which went in depth with what we learned before, among going in and actually working on radios and doing the stuff that I've been trained to do. Um, it definitely took me by surprise, but it was fun to go in there and actually be able to set up the stuff that I've been training on for 8 months. The average workday was pretty crazy. You come in, you check your emails, you take care of everything that needs to be done, and then you still have to perform maintenance, take care of equipment, make sure it's up to par. And then we also, on top of that, perform community service all the time, going in and helping local schools, Habitat for Humanity, and just helping out the society in general, trying to do the best that we can. But all this training that I received, I was glad that I received, because on my first deployment, I was deployed in a small man team. There was 5 of us, and we had to maintain our own site. And I was the subject matter expert on the equipment that we were on. So a couple times things went down, things went awry, and I quickly solved the problem and found out what was wrong, got the parts ordered, and got everything taken care of, which boosted my confidence because it made me feel like all the training that I got was worthwhile. So, I mean, the tests were difficult, the training was hard, all the blood, the sweat, it was a lot of work, but it was definitely worth it, and I can't say that I would trade it for anything. It's made me into a more responsible person. I'm back in college now, and it's pretty much turned my life around from where I was at. And I'm excited. I just got new orders, just came to California, and I'm starting a new job and a new experience. And what the military has given me so far has been exciting. And I just wanted to give you a small look into basically the first span of time in the military and tell you about my experiences. Thank you.